Everyone, thanks so much for joining us on our series Stories of Modern Anxiety. We're so glad you're here, and we're even more glad today to have with us Aznet from the Tapestry Project. Aznet, do you want to just tell us a bit about yourself and maybe what you do at Tapestry?
Hey, hi, I'm Aznet. I just joined as a volunteer writer. I write about my recovery journey. I share my story to advocate for mental health awareness. Yeah. So for me, I'm actually being treated for anxiety. I get heart palpitations, breathlessness, and I start to tremble. Really can't control my trembling. It can happen to me even in the comfort of my own bedroom. I don't have to be outside. It's a full-blown panic attack. When it happens, I try to find a corner to hide in or a wall to lean against, and there's just no choice. I mean, with medication or without medication, I have to wait until the symptoms subside before I can continue. It's so big and so huge. There's like no rhyme or reason to it. It just happens out of the blue. You can't function because of it. It disrupts your life. One of the things that it does is it makes me scared to leave my house. I get scared of the doorbell. Things like traveling, can't take the car, can't take the taxi, can't take the bus. I always feel like I start thinking that the worst thing is gonna happen. Like the train is gonna derail. If I'm going through a tunnel, I stop breathing, I swear. I'm just like, I get so tensed up. There's certain situations where it pops up. So maybe you're in a situation which is unfamiliar to you, or the plan changed halfway. My colleagues, they changed the location for lunch, and I was fine. I went for the lunch, but on the way back, I had a panic attack. And I was like at the MRT station. Those kind of change to your routine. If you're overstimulated, bright lights, flashing lights, neon lights, noise. So that's if you have a anxiety disorder. But everyone experiences anxiety. Anxiety itself is a normal reaction. If you're feeling anxious, it's cool. You're probably worried about something in the past or something in the future. If your anxiety is lasting more than a few months, it was unwarranted and affecting your way of life, then in that case, you may want to actually see a psychiatrist or just a GP to see whether you might need some medical attention.
If I'm hearing you right, you're sharing with us that there's basically a difference between general anxiety or day-to-day anxiety, which many people experience, and also anxiety, which is a disorder or which is diagnosed. Yeah, and I think we can see that both of them are deserving of attention and support. There's the common perception that if you're anxious, there must be a reason why you're anxious, and that's really hard for the person who's experiencing that. There's this sense that, but what if I don't really have a reason for my anxiety?
There isn't a reason sometimes. You know how many times I've cancelled on my friends, for no reason whatsoever. The symptoms have just come upon me, and I don't want to be a killjoy. I don't want to bring them down. I don't want to have to hide my symptoms. It takes a lot of energy. It just happens.
Wondering if you would mind sharing with us how that process of recognizing that there might be something going on, maybe even coming to terms with this thing called anxiety was like for you?
It was disruptive to my life. So obviously I did not realize that it was a mental disorder, but once I became aware that there is such a thing as mental disorders and that your life is disrupted and you can't function, and there is treatment available. You can go to a doctor, they will give you medication. You go to a psychotherapist, they'll teach you how to deal with it, teach you how to deal with stress and all these kind of things. There's a lot of different therapies. I was like, okay, I can recover from this. I can learn how to mask my symptoms or deal with my symptoms and then function in society. So I was like, okay, alright, let's go to a doctor. Let's get treated. There is improvement. There is recovery. So there's always hope. Yeah. Also, if I have not been looking after myself, so I have mismanaged my medication, anxiety might come back. Or if I have experienced some trauma again, or if I have been particularly stressed, then anxiety might come back. Up and down, up and down. So there are good days and bad days.
Thanks for sharing us
You're
your
welcome.
experience. You mentioned to us at the start that you just signed up as a volunteer, as a writer at the Tapestry Project.
Yes.
How has writing or art in general been important or been a part of this process?
What I do for Tapestry is to write my own experiences so that hopefully my experiences will help someone who's going through something similar, to let them know they're not alone. Whatever they're going through, things will get better. Also for family members of people who are going through a similar journey. Because before I used to write about my story on Facebook, and I was so surprised that all these like parents would like, get in touch with me. Hey, my kids are going through this. Can you tell me more? I'm like, okay. Writing itself is cathartic. It's just great for letting your emotions out, clarifying all your thoughts. If you're struggling with how you're feeling, you write it out, you're gonna know how you're feeling. Writing a poem also. There's something really satisfying about words that rhyme. Journaling, it's just magic. I have like multiple blogs. I have like I'm all anonymous on it. It's all to let my emotions out and organize my thoughts.
I really identify with that as a songwriter. It's both really personal. I mean, the song is my experience, but yet there's this opportunity for the song to connect or to even put into words what somebody else doesn't know how to say.
Right.
And so it sounds like the post that you write or even the work that you're doing for Tapestry has that element where people seem to be connecting to what you write.
Yes, and then they reach out. The other thing that I like, because I'm an introvert, I love internet memes. Right? It's been really helpful for me, is that dose of laughter you get from internet meme. Today, I made eye contact with a cashier. Oh yeah. Today I walked out of my house. These kind of things, you know, like people know how to laugh at themselves. Especially all these people with anxiety, because they're so brave, and it takes a lot of courage to do all these everyday things when they have anxiety. And they know that, we know that, and the internet community knows that. And we just encourage each other.
I imagine there are a lot of people who are watching who may not feel like they experience anxiety, but they want to know how to be a good friend to someone who maybe does struggle with anxiety.
Just be there for your friend. Do what they need you to do. My friends, they just accept me for who I am, and they know that I have anxiety. So when I'm going to a new place to meet them, they will actually take pictures from the MRT station. They will take pictures of Aznet, turn left here, turn left there. They actually take pictures of themselves, like next to the sign, la here, la there, la there. And then they send it to me so I don't panic when I'm taking the train. Like if we take a trip together, they all do their best to like distract me during takeoff. They do the like funniest things. Like they'll be like drawing on each other's faces. Anything to distract me during the takeoff. Just love your friends. Just be who they need you to be. We all eventually learn the things that we need to do to keep our anxiety in check. So for me, routine is good. I have to check my own thoughts. So I challenge the anxiety in my head. You gotta learn how to breathe. There's so many techniques, and you learn this when you go for your treatment therapy. There are ways to overcome this. There are ways to deal with it. Recovery is definitely possible.
Yeah, and you just sitting here sharing with us shows that that's true.